नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ओम्। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादिनघेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधाम् बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम् पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। ओम्। ब्रह्माहं यत्प्रसादेन मयि विश्वं प्रकल्पितम् श्रीमत्स्वयं प्रकाशाख्यं प्रणौमि जगतां गुरुं। यः परमात्मा जगत्सृष्ट्वा प्रविवेश पुनः स्वयं तं कृष्णं प्रत्यगात्मानं वन्दे गोपी मनोहरम्। यस्य प्रसादात् अहमद्वयात्मा विश्वं समस्तं मयि कल्पितं च तं सर्वलोकैकगुरुं सदाश्री स्वयं प्रकाशं गुरुमानतोऽस्मि। गुरूणां चरणाम्भोजं प्रणिपत्य निरन्तरं तत्कृपालेशतोऽद्वैत चिन्ताकौस्तुभमारभे। Om. As a general rule, the sentence or any sentence will be able to deliver its meaning in the sense a sentence will be able to show what it means only when there are these two factors which now control how the sentence functions, and that is samsarga, samsargatvam and vishishtatvam. But in Vedanta now, when the matter has arrived at Mahavakyam, understanding the sentence which is called as the great statement, the teachers have said samsargatva and vishishtatva is not the tantram. That is not how these are not the factors which will control the delivery of its meaning. It may be true in case of all other sentences or most of the sentences. Yet when it comes to the Mahavakyam, Samsargatva and Vishishtatva cannot become functional over here. That's why the question was asked, then what is it that determines what is delivered by the Mahavakyam? You get the whole thing. What is it that determines that what is delivered by the Mahavakyam? So you see there are two whats. So the first what is about which tantram will function. What factor will control the delivery of the meaning, A. And the second what is about what is the actual meaning or the object shown by the Mahavakyam. That's why we have two whats in the sentence, and both of them are concerning separate subjects. What is it that controls, or what is it that determines the functioning of Mahavakyam, and so that what is it that is delivered by the Mahavakyam? Okay, break it into these two. So these two questions become clear. So then it is said, why is the first question coming in place? Because Samsargatva and Vishishtatva do not function. That is what the Siddhanti, the teacher, said. Naturally, if it is not Samsargatva and Vishishtatva, then what is it that determines the functioning of the sentence? So this is the question. This is the thing. So the answer to this first question is Tatparya Vishayatvam. Tatparyatvam. Okay. How did he say that? Samsargatvam va Vishishtatvam va na Vakya Pratipadyatve Tantram. It is not that. I'm looking at lines on page number 120. If you have a physical copy, it's easy for you to go back and look into the commentary part, the last paragraph in the commentary. Samsargatvam va Vishishtatvam va na Vakya Pratipadyatve Tantram. Abhimatam is not what is intended. Abhimatam. Then the next question comes, if not these two, then what is it that will determine how the sentence will function? There he says, Tatparya Vishayatvam. Okay. Then we ask the question, sir, what do you mean by Tatparyam? We understand Vishayatvam. We understand object of some knowledge. So if you are going to say Ghatajnanam, okay, for example, hey, Ghatajnanam, you know the pot. What is the Vishaya over here of Ghatajnanam? So there is knowledge of the pot. Then obviously, what is the Vishaya? What is the subject matter of this knowledge? Then you are going to say the subject matter of this knowledge is the pot. Now let us put it in different words, this part only. the object of that knowledge is the pot. Yet another way of understanding the object which is illumined by this knowledge is pot. You know, in these gradual 3 sentences that you have seen about the Ghatajnanam, the subject matter of that knowledge is pot. Then the second one is the object of that knowledge is pot. And the third sentence is the object illumined by that knowledge is pot. All these 3 sentences over here are what? Telling you what is Ghatajnanam. Okay? And you are going to observe that in these 3 sentences, the first one is general, the second one has more clarity, and the last one is most clear. This method in which we come to understand with clarity, technically we call it as parishkar. In Nyaya Shastra, it is even more. But this is called as parishkar, the refinement. Why is this refinement required? So that whatever is being spoken leaves no space for any ambiguity. हाँ, वहां पे अपनी कल्पना को दौड़ाना नहीं है. Ghatajnanam. Okay. Like that. Now come over here. What is Tatparya Vishayatvam? In Ghatajnanam, what was there? The Vishaya is Ghata. Whose Vishaya is the Ghata? Whose object is the Ghata? Of that knowledge. Okay. So now, Ghata Vishayam. Ghatajnanam is how? Ghata Vishayam. Okay. घट विषय का जो ज्ञान है वह घट ज्ञान है. What is तात्पर्य विषयम? So Vishaya, or what is Tatparya Vishayatvam? We understand what is Vishayatvam, the object of that knowledge. Then what exactly is Tatparyam? Because the word is Tatparya Vishayatvam. Why have we come to this word Tatparya Vishayatvam? Because now, since Samsarga and Vishishtatva, Samsargatva and Vishishtatva are rejected as the determining factors in this sense of the Mahavakyam. Right? How the Vakyam will function is determined by Samsargatva and Vishishtatva. But we have said these are not the factors. Then what is the factor? Tatparya Vishayatvam. Therefore, now we need to know what is the meaning of the word Tatparyam. Tatparyam technically would mean Vakturichha Tatparyam. वक्ता की इच्छा का नाम तात्पर्य है. What is it that the speaker wants me to understand? So he intends to explain something, show something, He wants you to understand something, and therefore, now that what is actually meant by him is the Tatparyam. Correct? Don't do this a lot of time, even when somebody is speaking and he makes a mistake, but we rectify it in our mind and then understand, well, this is what he meant to say. For example, I'll tell you, if you hear the Malayalis speak Hindi, a proper Malayali speaking Hindi, sometimes they make a mistake in gender. So if this woman is saying, she will say, मैं कल market गया था. मैं कल market गया था. Hey, sometimes even the men also will make this mistake. मैं कल market गई थी. Now, even when you are in a conversation with this person, you now don't say, now this woman wants to say that she is not a woman any longer when she goes to market. Is that what she means? No. All you then understand what is the tatparyam. What is it that is meant by the speaker? Don't you rectify that? So tatparyam means vaktur ichha tatparyam. Now, for example, even when a Bengali speaks, for anything, जल खाबे, जल खाता है. मैं अभी जल खाया. पानी पीने की वस्तु है कि खाने की है. लेकिन when he speaks in Hindi, you still rectify and understand that he is saying, I drank water. Correct? So you understand the tatparyam over here is vakturicha. So in our vyavahar, in our regular transactions also, we employ this tantram. And that tantram is called as the tatparya vishayam. Tatparya vishayatvam. Tatparyam will be here. So also in case of Mahavakyam, what is the tantram? Tatparya vishayatvam is the tantram, the factor which determines what that sentence would deliver. Tatparya vishayatvam. Sir, over here, how can you, in case of a person who's a living person, you can say this is what he actually meant. This is what he actually meant. This is what he means to say. In case of Shruti, how will you say that? Because Shruti is not a Vakta, it's not a Shruti is the words. Can you say Shruti is a living person like you and me with an intention? So we are going to now say the words by themselves have their own, the sentences will have their own meaning. And that is what is the intention of those words. So tatparyam. How do you understand what is the Tatparyam of the Shruti? So he says, now, are you seeing the gradual development, how we are moving? What is the Tatparyam of the Shruti? What is the intention of the Shruti? Shruti meaning the Veda Vakyas and is now the Upanishad. What is the intention of the Shruti? So we are going to say the Shruti intends to show you what is Brahman. And what is Brahman? That which is partless, akhandam. And now the Mahavakyam wants to say that what is akhandam is this Atma. Okay? Atma is akhandam. Tatparyancha akhande brahmani upakramadebhihi lingaihi vedantanam avadhritam. How have you come to this tatparyam? What is the intention of the Shruti? And this is very, very important, because a lot of people get into this confusion saying, well, this is interpretation of the Upanishad. No, sir. Upanishad is the word, are the words. Those words have their specific meaning to deliver, and that is what is the intention of those words. What you want to understand cannot become the intention of the words. And hence it is, when we are talking about the understanding of the Upanishad, it is not interpretation. If somebody is saying this is my interpretation, we are not interested, because that is what is you want to see, and hence you are seeing that. Intention of the Upanishad. What is it that the Upanishad wants you to understand? Not what you understand. What is it that the Upanishad wants you to understand? Got that difference? Otherwise, where people think, oh, this is Shankaracharya's commentary, means it is his interpretation. Sir, it is not. The way we have come to this understanding that this is the Tatparyam is through a specific method. And this method is not something that Shankaracharya has to say. No, this is how we cognize the world and things. And that is upakramadi bhi lingaihi. There are these 6 indications. There are these 6 indications. These indications are called as lingas. What is an indication called? Linga. Okay? Lingyate anena iti lingaha. Right? That's why these stupid people who keep, saying that Shivalinga and all that. Nahi bhai, this is the indication of Paramatma, Shiva. Those who are saying, no, this is some Jananendriya of Shiva and all that. इससे कितने और तुम गिरना चाहते हो? this is meant for you to rise and from sublime to something ridiculous. From sublime to ridiculous. Bhai, we have to rise from our mundane to that which is subtle and supreme. सारी यात्रा जो है वो जड़ से सूक्ष्म तक की है और जड़ और सूक्ष्म को भी उल्लंघन करके उस वस्तु में है कि जो जड़ और सूक्ष्म से भी परे है। कारण से भी परे है। खैर, any which ways, now come back. So, how is the Tattvaryam determined? Because this Tattvaryam is by itself the determining factor when it comes to the meaning delivered by the Mahavakyam. This Tattvaryam is arrived through the sixfold indications. 6 types of indications. Technically, what is it called as? Shada Vidha Linga Nirnayaha. Shada Vidha Linga. So these are the 6 indications. What are those? You will see it in the later parts, in the subsequent pages. But presently, this much is enough. That we come to understand what is the Tattvaryam of the Shruti through these Shadavidha Lingas. Then, when we understand what is the Tattvaryam, means what is the Tattparya Vishayam. What is that? What is it that is intended? What is the object intended by the Shruti to be shown, to be understood? Okay. What is it? So we say Akhandam Brahma. Okay. Vakyarthaha. Then somebody says, sir, we are not going to accept this Tattparya Vishayam as the determining factor, but we will insist that it is Samsarga or Vishishta. Okay? We still insist it will be Samsarga or Vishishta. When this is how you are going to say, then the teacher replies to this. Hincha, on the next page in the commentary part, 121 in the physical copy. If you are having that PDF, it is 155. Hincha. तत्वमस्यादि वाक्य प्रतिपाद्यत्वे संसर्गादेहे प्रत्यक्ष विरोध परिहारा संभवेन tasya tadayogat. Now he says that samsarga and vishishtatva, samsargatva and vishishtatva cannot be the determining factors. You have said that Tatparya Vishayatvam is the determining factor, but you will also have to justify as why these two were rejected. Because if they function, they pose an obvious virodha, contradiction. Tattvanusanthani vakya pratipadyatve samsargadehe pratyaksha virodha parihara asambhavena. Then they will create a contradiction, and by that virtue, let it present contradiction. What is wrong? Then in that case, then in that case, the vakyam will become invalid. The vakyam, the sentence, becomes an invalid sentence. How, sir? For example, I hope this is not kind of, I'm trying to go slow so that, things do get registered. If it doesn't come to you in the first go, as we progress, things may keep coming when these kind of topics come. And when we do the alodanam, meaning think about it again and again, then slowly the clarity starts coming. Okay. So do not think or do not get discouraged by this. Okay. I hope you people will have that little courage to go through. Then he says, Pratyaksha virodha parihara asambhavena. Pratyaksha virodha parihara asambhavena. Tasya tada yogat. This samsargadi cannot be used because they will bring the obvious contradiction. And if the vakyam is filled with contradictions, the vakyam becomes invalid. Sorry. How does it become invalid? Say, suppose if I say, the dead cat must have spilled milk. If there is a vakyam, the dead cat must have spilled the milk. Now, this is a vakyam. There is a subject, there is an object. Grammatically, can you say there is anything wrong in this sentence? No. But when you try to understand what is delivered by that sentence, you find that there is a contradiction. Milk is spilled is okay. But how can a dead cat spill the milk? How can a dead cat spill the milk? And therefore, this sentence now is an invalid sentence. But if you say that, well, the speaker is not a liar, then you are going to stay put over there, and you would understand, well, the cat which is dead now spilled the milk. So it must have died after spilling the milk. You see? So now it is that sentence. If the sentence was only to be seen with the contradictions, you would have had rejected the sentence by saying that it is an invalid sentence. But when you try to understand the intention of the speaker, then you come to say, well, this is what is the meaning of that sentence. The cat which is dead now spilled the milk, had spilled the milk before dying. So this is how you understand Tatparya Vishayatvam also. But he says now, keeping samsarga and vishishtatva as the factors to determine the meaning of the sentence, then in that case, okay, it will bring only contradiction, and that contradiction cannot be resolved. How did you resolve the contradiction in the earlier case? Only by Tatparya Vishayatvam. Correct? Now over here, Pratyaksha Virodha Parihara Asambhavena. It will not allow you to understand Atma is Purnam, is Akhandam. Then you are going to say, well, Akhanda is somebody's name, maybe a name of Atma, epithet. No, sir. We are not talking about anyone's name or an attribute, but we are saying this is the nature of the self. This is what Atma is. Svarupam tasya svarupam. Okay. So now this opponent says, sir, what is the problem? The sentence by itself has a contradiction in itself. And if these samsarga and vishishtatva show that contradiction, why should it be wrong? So we are going to say, how is that whole conversation going to be? Here. Next sentence. Naham Ishvaraha iti pratyakshadi virodhat katham akhandavastuno mahavakya pratipadyatvam. Okay. Sir, basically, that the virodha, you are saying Atma is Ishvara, Brahma. Jiva is Ishvara. At the most, you can understand Jiva is the part of Ishvara. Fine. But you are not even saying that, you are saying Jiva is Ishvara. This individual is whole, is complete, is infinite. So your sentence is that what is finite is infinite. Don't see this contradiction in the sentence? And therefore, just as finite cannot be infinite, finite cannot be infinite. Like that, is it not obvious to each one of us that I am not Brahman? What is the meaning of I for you and me and general people? This I means this struggling individual. He is struggling to be happy with his wife and children and parents and relatives and the job and the boss and the subordinates, the superordinates, the coordinates, and he is crushed. So this individual is what? This individual is karta bhokta. How can, therefore, you ask anybody, are you God? This fellow is going to say, I would like to be called, but I'm not. Naham Ishvaraha. Naham Ishvaraha. Iti pratyaksha virodhat. And how is this? This is obvious. This virodha is directly known. Pratyaksha virodha hai ye. मैं ईश्वर नहीं हूं तो तुम कौन हो? मैं कोई भी हो सकता हूं लेकिन ईश्वर नहीं हूं। मैं मच्छर हूं, मक्खी हूं, कीट हूं, देव हूं, यक्ष हूं, किन्नर हूं, स्त्री हूं, पुरुष हूं, नपुंसक हूं, कुछ भी मैं हो सकता हूं। पुण्यवान, पापी, बुद्धिमान, मूर्ख, कुछ भी हो सकता हूं, किंतु मैं ईश्वर नहीं हूं। ना हम ईश्वर हैं, ना हम ब्रह्म। सॉरी, कुछ तो गया। What happens? Some time back, there was this person who said, our guru is the avatar of Dattatreya, or anybody, Ganpati, Dattatreya, Gauri, Shankar, anyone. Now, if this person claims, I am somebody's avatar, I am this, avatar of whatever, then I have got three bodies. One body is here on this bhutal, in this mortal world, and another body is in the world of gods, and the third body is doing penance in the Himalayas or somewhere, God knows, Sumeru Parvat, kahin pe bhi bhej do. Now, all these things become very fascinating. But do you see what this person is actually saying? With all his achievements and attainments and his claims, he is saying, Naham Brahma. I am a jiva of a special category, definitely special than you. You are all small mortals, but I am, some immortal who has been living since Mahabharata times. I am special. तुम कितने भी special हो. Finally, what are you saying? Naham Brahma. You see, और Guru कौन है? कि he who now knows and makes you also understand that aham, this what is meant by the word aham is Brahma. Guru is not somebody who makes you understand that, oh, well, this fellow is some special. कोई विशेष नहीं, निर्विशेष ब्रह्म हूं. Here, any which ways, but in general, Naham Ishvaraha iti pratyakshadi virodhat. How then can that meaning of the sentence be Akhanda Brahma, which is the Tatparyam, which determines how the sentence will function? The meaning of that sentence actually is that Atma is Brahman. Oneness of Jiva and Brahma. What is Brahma? Akhanda Vastu. How did you know that Brahma is Akhandam? But through the Shadvidha Lingas, the Tatparyam of the Shruti is determined. This Tatparyam is the Tantram, which controls how the sentence will deliver its meaning. But the opponent says, Hare, when that bheda is pratyaksha, when that virodha is pratyaksha, how can this be the tatparyam be the determining factor? Tantra over there. So now, iti pratyakshadi virodhat. Is not it obvious? Is it not directly known by you and rest of the people? Kathamakhanda vastuno mahavakya pratipadyatvam. Then therefore, how can this be the tatparyam, pratipadyam, pratipadya vastu? That which is partless, complete, infinite, is what will be known through the Vakyam. When this is the question, the teacher says, iti navacham, that na in the beginning of the sentence which I had dropped, drag it down and place it before vachyam. So now how does the sentence sound to you? Naham Ishvaraha iti pratyakshadi virodhat katham akhanda vastuno mahavakya pratipadyatvam iti navacham. Got it? Iti navacham. Don't say that. Why? Shruti virodhe pratyakshadinam abhasatvad. We have gone through this yesterday, but I'm reiterating so that a student is not lost. It just doesn't become your holy duty that early in the morning wake up and listen to Swamiji. You are Swamiji को सुन रहे हैं, ठीक है, परंतु समझ क्या रहे हैं, ये महत्वपूर्ण है. What are you finally understanding from here is more important. So when he has said pratyakshadi virodha is pratyakshadi, there is the virodha, that this difference is already there and it is known. And this, what we have known, that Atma is not Brahman, which everybody in general says, those who are not from the tradition of the Upanishad, what is he going to say? Atma is, I am not Brahman. Then what are you? I am somebody's husband, I am somebody's wife, I am somebody's mother, I am somebody's father, I am somebody's something. But in and through all this, what is it that you finally are saying is that I am not Brahman? And it is obvious, it can through all pratyakshadi. Therefore, your Vakyam is standing in virodha with the other pramanas. Now, why are you concerned about it? Karne do unko virodh, tum apne raste chalo. Na ji, it doesn't happen like this. Why? The thing is, anything has the status of being a pramana only when there are these two factors seated in it. It should have these two factors. Then only this thing can become a pramana. Anything can become a pramana. What is it? What are those two things? The first one is that it should show you something which is unknown, and it will continue to stay unknown if this particular whatever it is, whether it is an indriya, anuman, inference, or etc., doesn't function. If this doesn't function, it will remain unknown. So something that is unknown and will continue to remain unknown if this pramanam doesn't function. The second thing is that this will retain its status as a pramana, as a valid means of knowledge, only if whatever is shown by it is not cancelled, falsified by any other means. If it is not falsified by any other means. And therefore, this virodha that he is talking over here would go to that extent where now Shruti says Atma is Brahman, but other pramanas, Pratyaksha, etc., is saying Atma is not Brahman. With this virodha, Shruti will become invalid. Will become invalid because of this virodha. And hence now we have to deal with it. And how does he deal with it? By saying, Shruti virodhe, there where the other pramanas are in virodha, are in contradiction with Shruti, then what happens? Shruti doesn't get cancelled. But those pramanas which are now opposed, they only lose their status as a pramana. Pratyakshadinam abhasatvat. When, in which case will this happen? Shruti virodhe, where they come in contradiction with Shruti. Okay. So by pratyaksha, now you are seeing a flower. You see a flower. And it is a real flower, not a plastic paper flower, satin flower. It is a real flower. So will my eyes in the sense, the chakshurindriya, still will lose the status as pramana? No. Over here, the chakshurindriya is not in contradiction with Shruti. And therefore, in knowing this is a red flower, blue flower, whatever, the chakshurindriya retains its status as the pramanam. But when will these all rest of them lose their status? Shruti virodhe, when they come as opposing to the Shruti. Shruti virodhe pratyakshadinam abhasatvat. Okay. But sir, maybe pratyaksha pramanam you don't, but there is also anupalabdhi pramanam. Now you see, this is there. What anupalabdhi? It is showing absence of Ishwaratva. Where? In Jiva. Just as yesterday I told you, potness is present in the pot. But when I say potness is absent, then obviously where is the potness absent? In anything that is not the pot. In the cloth. So that absence of potness is cognized by you. Correct? Just as the potness is cognized by you, whether it is a small pot, big pot, black pot, red pot, whatever, raktagataha, neelagataha, pitagataha, whatever that may be, clay pot, plastic pot, but everywhere in all these pots, you understand there is potness. Ghatatvam is there. Where is the ghatatvam absent? In pata, matha, and all these other things. Pata meaning the cloth. Huh? Yeah, anyway. So it is absent. Ishwaratva, Ishwaraness is present in Ishvara. Is it present in Jiva? No. So Brahmatvam, Ishwaratvam nahi, Brahmatvam le lenge. Brahmatvam is present in Brahma. But it is not present over here. So we cognize the absence of Brahmatvam in the Jiva. So this is Anupalabdhi Pramanam, which is doing. Then he says, for one to cognize the absence, the Anupalabdhi Pramanam comes over there. But in our case over here, the Anupalabdhi Pramanam cannot function because it doesn't have it is not yogyam. It is not yogyam. Now, if you want to find the absence of potness in the pot, will this Anupalabdhi Pramanam function over there? No. Why? Because this pot is not yogyam for the Anupalabdhi Pramanam to function. If you want to find the absence of potness in the pot, nahi hoga. So pot is not a yogya sthan. So it is not the Anupalabdhi yahan nahi hai uski. Ghatatva ka abhav ghat mein nahi hai. So, Yogyanupalabdhehe asambhavena. So, the first thing we have to understand. जीव ब्रह्म नहीं है, अखंड नहीं है, ये कहने के लिए वहां या जीव में अखंडत्व नहीं है, ये कहने के लिए सबसे पहले वहां पे तुम्हें अखंडत्व का अभाव होना चाहिए. हम कहेंगे, वी आर गोइंग टू से इट इज नॉट so, just as the other we have seen in the earlier case, absence of potness in the pot cannot be cognized. Like that, योग्य स्थान नहीं है तो अनुपलब्धि नहीं काम कर सकती. Then जीवनिष्ठ, so after असंभवेन, comma, जीवनिष्ठ ईश्वर भेदस्य प्रत्यक्ष अयोग्यत्वात्. The second reason. The third reason is manaso anindriyatvena. There are three reasons why pratyakshadi pramanas now over here become invalid when they stand in opposition to Shruti over here. Got it? Three reasons he has given over here. Yogyanupalabdhehe asambhavena, जीवनिष्ठ ईश्वर भेदस्य प्रत्यक्ष अयोग्यत्वात्. Second, we have to see that. The third one is manasaha anindriyatvena tathatvacha. Okay? Therefore, it is like this. So now, to conclude it for this particular session, we have understood that samsarga and vishishtatva are not the determining factors how the Mahavakyam will function. What is it that will determine how the Mahavakyam will function? Tatparya. Shruti, Tatparya. So Tatparyam is how Akhandatvam is shown. Then he says, but sir, we still insist that samsarga and vishishtatva will function because there is a virodha. What virodha is there? The other pramanas will stand in opposition with Shruti. Then we said, if the other pramanas stand in opposition with what Shruti is showing, then those pramanas only will lose their status as pramanas. How? Three reasons. Yogyanupalabdhehe asambhavena, जीवनिष्ठ ईश्वर भेदस्य प्रत्यक्ष अयोग्यत्वात् मनसो अनिन्द्रियत्वेन. So we have to see the other two, and then we will. This is just in that sentence, okay? In the even in this commentary, he simply has indicated this much and gone ahead. And that's why, there is so much content. And hence we have, there is the Moola Grantha, there is the commentary, then on that commentary, there is a gloss, then there is something more and something more. Commentaries on commentaries. Why is it required? Because to bring out all that is there now, the contents of those words. That's why this is how the tradition has developed for thousands of years, and teachers have kept on speaking and teaching. The final teaching is Atma, is Brahman. From day one that you will come into the Vedanta class, this is what you are going to hear. Till the teacher dies, he is going to say Atma is Brahman. Okay. So now we will go to the other two and then proceed with the commentary part slowly, but with more firmness. Okay, I'm not insisting that we need to finish the class quickly or the book quickly. All right, thank you. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashikritau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Anand, please stop the recording.